Inequality in America impacts all aspects of life, including access to food. So one of our producers, Jean Song, spoke to a small business owner based out of Chicago who has been fighting for food equity in underserved areas. And she says she wasn't surprised at all by the protests we saw across the country.
When Liz Abunaw set out to launch her startup grocery in Chicago's West Side, she wanted a name rooted in history that would also articulate her mission. 40 Acres Fresh Market.
It's an homage to the unfulfilled promise to freed slaves for 40 acres and a mule. First, I wanted a name that was distinctly Black, particularly Black American, because the issue of not having access to healthy food where we live particularly hits our communities hard. And I find it to be a cruel irony that the people who basically built this country, were our country's first farmers who were so tied to the land, now live in land where they can get nothing that comes from the land.
2 years ago, Abunaw started organizing pop-up markets with fresh produce in the Austin neighborhood to address what she calls a food apartheid.
It was this very eye-opening look at this tale of two Chicagos, how some neighborhoods, and the neighborhoods I've always lived in have been predominantly white neighborhoods, middle-class to affluent neighborhoods. And then I'm in a Black neighborhood. I can't find basic things. If you want to change this neighborhood so that it is no longer an underserved neighborhood that is living with food inequality, you have to be part of the neighborhood's actual permanent infrastructure. And that has been my goal from day one.
40 Acres was in the process of opening a brick and mortar location when the coronavirus pandemic put their plans on hold. Their pop-ups were canceled, and the team suddenly saw a surge in demand for grocery deliveries.
We got a lot of orders to deliver.
It turned out that our small little delivery service that barely served one person a day was all of a sudden serving over 200 people a week throughout the city.
While fighting for equity and food access, Abunaw is also witnessing Chicagoans protest on the streets for justice.
I think that when we talk about what's happening right now with the abhorrent murder of George Floyd by 4 former police officers, it's a larger picture of inequality from how we're treated by police, how laws are applied to us, to the homes in which we live, to how lenders treat us. It's the same inequality that people just keep kicking the can down the road, and it manifests itself in every single aspect of people's lives.
So with the West Side community, Abunaw is looking to build a future that champions economic justice.
I don't remember a time in this country where massive change happened without some type of pain. I know as a small business owner, I would never want to see my business go up in flames. I would never want to see my business looted. I would never want to see my neighborhood trashed. I don't want anybody getting hurt. But am I surprised that this is where we are? No, I'm not surprised. You can only pile inequality that people know is going on people for so long before it explodes. But maybe it doesn't have to get to a full-blown explosion if we realize what's happening now and make the fundamental changes, not lip service, not surface changes. It's policy, it is structural. So my hope is that people are smart enough to see what's happening now and engage and dismantle why there was even a need for 40 acres in the first place.